right. I do believe we're live, and thank you for joining us. We, as always, are Hill of Bones, and I am Captain Fallon. I play Seto, and these are the Mofuckers.
I am Mo fucking number one. My name is Mike. I play Steve, the Furblog Druid. Wah, wah, wah.
I am motherfucking number 2. My name is Zoe, and I play Walden, the Warforged Barbarian.
I am motherfucking number 3. I play Jorg, the Goliath Barbarian.
And we are led by the fucker of all motherfuckers.
So it is I, say, the final motherfucker. Here to DM the campaign, Hills Have Bones. The Hills Have Bones. It's been a few sessions where we've had some breaks due to summer and all sorts of other things, because life does happen. But we are back on track here with the Intrepid team, who have just taken down some bandits on a bridge on the path to Hanka. Currently, the team is in between two kind of more major trade routes. One of them is on the way to Duke, which is a small city before Hanka. The team learnt of some other cities that surround the region of Hanka, Walden being familiar with a few of them, although some of the ones that Walden is familiar have since fallen into disrepair. As you've taken down the bandits, you're relatively certain that you and Luke, the dwarven companion cleric that you have met recently, will be able to sleep and rest throughout the night here relatively safely. However, Luke does seem convinced that there is some form of wee sea beastie in the waters that could be either hard to catch or try and catch you. Our current goal is to get to Hanka. However, Luke has asked you if he could travel with you and try and see if he can find his companions that he had left Hanka with for his own reasons. As we reset the scene, it's probably about 3-4 in the morning at this point. Some of you have had a decent amount of rest. However, some of you may need a little bit longer. However, you do have your camp set out and you are relatively ready. You set a decoy campsite out, if I remember correctly, for the bandits, which they did go for, and now you're pretty sure the coast should be clear.
All right.
We
at
did
this point,
get into combat, right? We
we kicked their ass.
Yeah, we killed
Yeah,
everybody.
you did.
They have been deaded. Except one who lived.
I believe they haven't been looted.
Yes, that was
No,
what we
they
were
have
doing
not.
in the break. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Yes, that is. We are looting and scooting.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Now, if I remember correctly, there was a set of weapons that ended up in the river because they
There was
got
a whole
disarmed.
bro who went in the river.
I
Yeah,
think
it
there
was a-
might have
yeah,
been
a
a whole
whole-
road that went in the river.
Yeah.
But so I believe all that would actually be left is 2 shields, a pike, and 3 sets of daggers.
I mean, always up for a dagger or two, but the rest of it doesn't really suit my style too crazy.
The other thing that you would notice is there was one of the guys that seemed to be a bit stronger than the others. He does have a coin purse on him, and he had 15 gold.
Nice.
Gold.
Put that in
Wow.
the notes. Hey, it adds up. All right, I don't want to hear it.
I'm just saying they were shitty thieves.
Can one of you give me an investigation roll?
I'll investigate. I like
Oh,
investigating.
Wait, what's my investigate? No, I
Mine's
don't
only
know.
plus
I've
1.
already
I got a
investigated.
+3.
And let me
Son
tell you
of a
what,
bitch.
I did not do good. I did real bad.
That's okay.
It was bad.
That's fine.
Can I assist?
That's-
like with my own roll? Fuck.
Let's find the outcome of this roll up first,
Yes.
and then we'll go
Fair.
to find the rest of the stuff out.
15 gold.
Yeah. So, Steve, as you help the others loot the bodies of the bandits who attacked the decoy, campsite, you notice these people are dead, and your hands are bloody, and you feel a bit tired. It's way past your bedtime, and you're like, normally you'd have the kids, you'd be asleep by now. You've been adventuring, like you've postponed it the best time a few times, and like honestly, right now, the most of what you see is grey. It's not going well for you.
All right. The dead.
They are dead, yes. If anyone wants to do another roll for investigation,
Yep. Oh,
that Neil,
I swear to God, I'm gonna get the same fucking thing.
that's fine. It is
Ooh,
warning.
all right.
19.
That's better.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
better.
Okay, so Seto, as you go to investigate, you're pretty used to taking a few trinkets off of a dead body. It doesn't really bother you doing so, and it certainly does make you feel like you're doing the things you're meant to be doing with your summery mood. Unless you're autumn.
Right, no, I'm sorry.
You are summer. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so things are going well. However, you notice that these guys weren't carrying any kind of light source. So when they came to do like the business of robbing you guys, obviously they'd stay stealthy, but they don't have torches or any kind of gear or anything that would make you think that they're that they've like come from far. So you do notice that. You don't hear anything, you don't see any lights in the distance or anything in the shadows that makes you feel suspicious.
But just
But
the fact
you don't
that they
think
don't.
they came from far.
Yeah, but just the fact that they don't have light source means that they couldn't have came from too far
Yeah.
in here. All right.
And one of them definitely ran away. I remember that as well.
Well, why would that's definitely odd to me if they're ambushing people at night.
Mhm.
Like, and you may not want to have a light source the entire time for sneaky reasons, but like
Yep.
you don't have like they don't have like unlit torches.
Nope.
That's weird to me.
Yeah, that means they got to be super close, or just under the bridge, or
Are they even thieves?
oh, that's a fair. That's a
I
fair.
mean,
thought,
they could
Pat.
just like
That's
have
a
dark
fair
vision or some
thought.
shit. I don't know what.
Well, dark
Okay,
vision
yeah.
isn't as effective as it seems.
Wait, we had a sleep.
I don't know. I just it makes me nervous. I mean, maybe nothing, but it makes me nervous. That's
Maybe
all.
they're trying to just bamboozle us. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm tired.
All right.
That's fair.
I'm not sure what that role was for.
Oh, that was me. That's essentially, I'm still summer, because
Okay.
it was a full rest, and like that's like as far as maintaining things and things goes.
Okay,
We
yeah,
talked
sweet.
about.
Yeah, cool. What I will say, Walden, can you give me a? Let me see what's probably because I've got a role in mind, but I'm just gonna double check that that would be the role.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Could you give me a insight check, actually?
Sounds good. Ooh.
Okay,
Fuck.
so when you know you were looting these corpses, and Seto says to you there are no torches, you start to question were they bandits or not. And from what you can tell, you don't know. You're not sure whether these were bandits. I mean, they look like bandits. They were dressed, wearing fairly raggedy clothes and carrying daggers, but were they bandits?
Okay. Well,
Could be bandits. They might be bandits.
yeah. I mean, I don't have I like even outside of the insight roll, I can't really come to like a solid conclusion. So, I guess we'll just keep moving forward.
I check. Could I check like specifically their hands? Because if they're bandits, they're going to be used to holding weapons. You know what I mean? Especially the ones they're carrying. So,
Okay, so you're looking for calluses on their hands.
like the right calluses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'd be investigation.
All right, sexy. Let me do good, please. You fucking. Oh well.
Yeah, they've definitely got like laborers' hands. These aren't people that work, doing just sewing, but you can't really work out what it's caused by. While you guys are kind of looting and investigating, the sun does start to rise, and Luke kind of seems a bit more chipper now that there's a light source kind of coming up. He seems a little more relaxed.
That's interesting for a dwarf.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a cleric though.
Well,
Uh,
I'm tired. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
All right. I don't know if my brain's being influenced by something or not, but the second you said that, my brain went to like undead or like vampire type deal.
yeah, fair.
Just to let the group know. I'm not sure Seto would though. Yeah, I don't think he would. No. Just he likes this dude, but he doesn't trust him as far as he can throw him, and he couldn't really get him off the ground. He's not what you call a body mover. Body dropper, yes. Mover, not so much.
Actually, Jorg,
Yes.
can you give me a rough understanding of how you feel about Luke right now?
About Luke?
Yep, the dwarf that's traveling with you, the cleric.
Give me a quick reminder of Luke, because it's been so long.
It's fine.
Seriously.
It's fine. I'm just
So long.
no worries. It just basically depending on how you feel about Luke depends on what I'm going to ask you to roll. Luke was. Do you remember the owlbear cave?
Say that again? Do I remember?
Do you remember
what?
the owlbear?
Yes, I remember the owlbear.
Cool. Luke was the guy that you guys found wounded by the owlbear cave.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and he's traveling with you and trying to see if he can find his other companions he's been separated with.
Okay, so inherently I don't think he's necessarily a bad individual, but I'm curious about him because it doesn't seem like we know very much about him.
Okay. In that case, can you give me an insight check for how you take the scene? Because Luke's a cleric. Clerics don't, from your experience at least, aren't normally tally-ho with looting corpses and not really giving too much of a shit. 15. Cool. So yeah, Jorg, as you kind of watch the scene unfold, your friends looting bodies, investigating these bodies, working out who they were, where have they come from, you notice Luke watching the sunrise and feel better about the sun rising, and you get the sense that Luke is relieved to see light, which as a dwarf you would have thought it didn't bother him too much. Maybe it's because there's less likely to be attacked by bandits now the sun's risen, or maybe it's something else. But the kind of vibe that you're getting from him right now is that he doesn't want to be on this bridge.
Okay. Well, I guess if that's the case, then we should hurry up, finish what we're doing, and get the hell off of here.
yeah, we got nothing else. We've already looted. We might as well just move on.
Yeah, we don't really know what to think about these people that, quote unquote, try to attack us, so.
All right, that's fair. And you see, you kind of like turn and like Seto's kind of got some meat like hooked on a grappling hook, like it's already attached to like it's like, all right, but there is just the one thing that we were supposed to help him out with. It starts like just hooking like meat onto this fucking.
Luke turns to you and goes, "Oh, now this is the thing. I wouldn't say I wanted you to help me with that as much as I wanted to avoid that."
Whoosh!
Yeah.
He
Have
threw
you
it.
done that? Okay.
He threw it. Yeah, 100%. It's like, don't worry, we got it. Wally, York, we're catching ourselves a week's worth of dinner.
Okay.
I am so tired.
Catch your rest, boyo. We need the muscle, not the hustle. Let's do this.
Yeah, anyone that needs to rest, this is your opportunity. And by all means, anyone that needs to long rest, do so now. On your character.
I mean, if he's gonna do, I could long rest, but like it's gonna be like 9 a.m. by the time I'm fucking done, if not longer.
It's fine. It'll be fine. I need to know two things: how big is the meat, and how big is the hook?
It's a full-on grappling hook. Like, it's.
And where did that come from?
I've always had it. Remember?
Okay, that's fine. No, I don't remember.
I've used it like a couple of times to help people with rope stuff.
I think there was that one moment really early on where I misjudged the height of a cliff and I jumped down, and then you were like, "I just can do this," and then you like use the grappling hook to like, lower yourself down.
You know what? Yeah, sure. So it's a grappling hook, and how big is the piece of meat?
There's a couple of pieces of meat that are like, he didn't know how big it was, so one's about like the size of a fist, one's like a forearm, because they killed that deer. They got big chunks of meat. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's essentially just got a.
So
it's a lot
is
of
there
meat.
like a different chunk of meat on each part of this grappling hook? Or,
This is ready.
Okay, and how? Okay, so first things first, I want a strength roll.
All right, that'll be York and whatchamacallit. I'm there for moral support.
Yeah, but you threw it. And you
I called them
didn't.
immediately.
You absolutely did not get help with this. You called back behind while doing something. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
Is the fish gonna bite like the second I throw you? We're gonna find out, I guess.
We gotta find out.
All right.
Oh, this is gonna end bad.
We don't know how it's gonna
Someone's
end.
gonna get pulled off of this bridge, and
I'm well rested now and can talk to fish.
it's gonna be
Well
like
rested now.
it's gonna be like one of those fucking comic strips with the fucking fish like whoop, just the line nothing, and then just suddenly the fisherman just goes flying into the lake.
Right.
This is where like Seto Misty steps back onto the bridge. Like, we're not gonna talk about that. Like,
I got a whole
Okay,
clone. Somebody's holding that rope and not letting go. All right. Like, we're getting this. We getting baby back. Don't you worry, none. All right, we getting this bitch. This is food.
Oh.
This is fame. This is bragging rights. This is a trophy. This is everything everybody needs. You could probably make armor out of this shit.
can I have the strength roll, please?
Yes, I'm trying to get to my character. It's just taking longer than
Okay.
I thought. I apologize.
Okay. It's fine. I just couldn't tell.
Which, actually, now that I think about it, I bet it's already up, and I'm an idiot. Yep, I'm a little bit of an idiot. Let's roll a fucking strength check. Ooh, this could be... Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right, so, wait. I have never used this, but it seems a pertinent time to use, where the fuck is it? Favored by the god? No, it doesn't. Let's just continue. Just doesn't even matter. I read it wrong. I thought it was I get to re-roll. It ain't. Let's just go.
Okay.
So,
So hold on. So Seto has like managed to get lumps of meat, questionable meat. You're not sure if some of it might have been from the bandits. He's claiming it's all from the deer. But he has like swung like a lasso the best he could this like hunking meat grappling hook,
and it doesn't go anywhere.
and then thrown it with all of his might. It immediately hits the fence of the bridge and bounces back and splooshes on his feet, causing there to be a small visceral puddle at Seto's feet as a thud and clang noise hits the bridge.
All right, so it's a rough take one. All right, let's pretend I'm not. That's the muscle ain't what I. All right, can one of y'all throw this, please, and make up for my lack of physical might?
I think you're the only one who actually wants to throw that.
Oh, for real? Y'all don't. It's just.
I don't understand the tactical reasoning for this.
I'll be honest. It's not really a tactical, more of a tactile. The feel of doing the thing, of helping the man claim the trophy of something that nearly killed him. You know, there's a bit to it for me, I suppose. It's not just, and don't to say nothing of the amount of food we could have.
Now, laddie, I don't like to speak too heavily on other people's enjoyment, but that beastie down there could take some time to deal with, and I know you guys seemed in a rush enough that you didn't want to take a diversion down to a different town, so I'm not quite sure why you're going after a fish. But if you must, you must.
I'm like
It's gonna take
halfway
that
down the
long.
bridge, being like, "I'll see you guys at Hanker."
He's just like
I didn't know it was
following
gonna
Steve.
be an all-day thing. I thought I throw it out a few times, a giant thing comes out, we pull it in, whackety whackety bang bang, we have our food, and you have your.
I don't know how long you think fishing takes.
Well,
It is.
I'm more of a hunter than a fisher, to be fair.
I see. Like a spearfisher.
Something like that, yeah. More rounded spears.
I am sure that this aquatic being will not leave this immediate vicinity for quite a while. If we need to, we can come back and handle it with more knowledge and efficiency.
You're probably right. Fucking thing. He just kind of leans over. You hear that, you fucking wee beastie? We'll be back for you. And just kind of like goes about the bridge.
Okay. You guys managed to traverse a relatively long way in your first kind of days of travel. I believe it's now the second of your full days of travel. And can I have Steve roll me a survival check?
Acceptable.
Cool. Thank you very much. So yeah, you make it to the other side of the bridge with nothing really happening. You manage to kind of stay out when it gets to noon. You guys shelter yourselves from the sun. Steve keeps an eye on like the wind and things like that, and you make good progress. You actually manage to get, before kind of too much of the main light of the day has gone, you're quite a far way, fully across the bridge and nearly on your way to Duke. At the moment you're going through the Dying Lands, and you kind of talk to Luke a little bit. Luke tells you that they don't call them the Dying Lands, they call them the Blighted Trees. And he seems kind of confused that you guys consider there to be like a big issue there. But he knows that Grimwell has different socio-political views on it than Hanka. You nearly arrive at Duke. It's now probably about 1:30 in the afternoon. You've traveled about 2 or 3 miles since 9 a.m. and you were all rested. And there hasn't been any sign of Luke's companions yet.
God.
Luke, do you mind giving us a bit more of a detailed description of the people that we're looking for to help expedite our search?
Well, I suppose that would be quite useful, wouldn't it? Gosh. Well, I suppose there's no real hiding it forever. My companions are goblins. Seeing some of you folks were probably from Grinwell, almost definitely from Grinwell, I was slightly worried. But the thing is, in Hanka, we like I said about my own religion being accepted and that drinking and frolicking is fine. Goblins are okay too. I just didn't know how you'd react. They're goblins. But this is the thing. Like, Crack and Crick, they're fantastic. Like, they're so devout, and I feel awful that anything could happen to them because they probably do better at being pious than I.
Okay.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out for some goblins. I feel like it is fair to state that while at least I personally do not have any negative or positive predispositions towards goblins, there is a very specific goblin who has been the cause of some trouble for us lately. Goes by the name of Bolt, and has interacted with a what we believe to be a lich recently. So if you do see your goblin companions, please do point them out immediately so that we do not believe that they are in league with this Bolt.
Bolt, you say? Can't say I've heard of that name, but this lich you speak of. Hanka being quite a religious place, we not too fond of the old unregistered undead, but one thing I can definitely say is you'll know Crick and Crack. They have kind eyes, and they're a pair of twins.
That's good to know.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye out.
One thing I would say, though, anyone on the path to become a lich would definitely pass through somewhere like Hanka. Not just because of the amount of knowledge there of various parts of the afterlife and onwards, but there are rumors that have circled for many, many years that people have been processing registered dead as material. So say what you will, but I have suspicions myself. I don't rarely go into the main city temples these days. I tend to stick out on outreach work, but hopefully we can find Crick and Crack anyway.
I hope we can as well.
What was the lich's name? It was like Jake or something stupid like that.
It was like Bill, I think.
Hate all of you. His name was Brad Lanford.
Oh,
Brad.
That's what
Brad.
Fucking Brad.
All I'm gonna say is you guys were complaining about fantasy names, and now you're complaining
No,
about
I'm not
names.
complaining.
So,
It's just a
like,
very
Were we complaining about fantasy names?
yeah, at one point, because I can't spell, so you were like, "Oh yeah, this is this," and like,
Let me tell you what, if my name was Brad Langford, I'd try to get some fucking power.
yeah, I thought it was a
You
good
little
name.
shits. Making fun of my non-fantasy name.
No,
Right? We're giving more
Right.
ammo
It's
for
just-
murder.
It's just so
Brad will
funny
show
because
them
they're
all.
absolutely one of the first sessions we had. You guys were like, "This is a really weird spelling," and
And it's
I
just
love it.
stuck with you since.
yeah, literally, that's why everyone's called Luke now.
We just can't be pleased.
Luke and yeah, you can't.
Please. I'm sorry. I genuinely find this hilarious. That
We be fickle
I
bitch.
I'm
wouldn't
not
say that
critical,
It's
it's
not
so
that we
funny.
can't be pleased. It's that we can't remember.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Also
Things that aren't
true.
like Bob, Luke, Brad, and then we still can't. So it doesn't matter. Do what you want.
Yeah,
really
do
doesn't
you,
matter.
boo-boo.
At least I have a fucking excuse for it. I have like legitimate memory problems.
No, I love it. It's fantastic. Like, anyway, not to get too derailed. You start heading into Duke for about. It's gotten probably on to about 3 p.m. by this point. The journey was fairly uneventful. Steve has led you straight. And as you start to pass into Duke, you notice that the town is a lot less busy than you thought it would be.
Well, this is like just like a little outpost, right?
Yeah, so this is mostly like an outpost, but even then, you don't see any people at the gates or anything on approach.
So it's like 2 guys and like a starving dog.
You don't even see the starving dog.
Yeah,
and the
this
2
isn't
guys at this
Yojimbo. You
stage.
don't even
God.
get the dog. Yeah, but for Seto, that means hoods
Place
up.
sucks.
I just assume that Seto is stealing everything in sight.
No, he hoods up. When I haven't stole, he's more of a killer than a stealer.
I guess so.
He's an assassin, but he just
Okay, well, I got my eye on him because this is a very low-key place.
Yeah, no worries. He only he steals around town because it's become like an endearing thing to him. You know what I mean? So it's a way of keeping himself relevant to the town that he has no real connection to. If that makes sense. But
Oh yeah, I'm sure the town loves it.
he doesn't steal anything important, like pens.
He returns things.
Yeah, and he returns things. Like he does it to give people a reason to have him around.
He's like that burglar that goes into your house, steals your doorknobs, and then gives them back to you next week.
It's real awkward for some.
Right.
Maybe
For
most.
3 days.
But
The annoying burglar.
I didn't say it makes sense. He's obviously a very damaged person.
Stop stealing my fucking staples.
Right? Like, well,
Oh my
I give him... Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's like, where the fuck did my steak... God damn it, Seto. Even if you happen to have dropped them or something, it's God damn it, Seto. But yeah, so don't worry about him stealing too much here.
Gotcha.
Unless it's really nice.
Okay. So you guys make your way into the settlement, and so far, it looks
Whoa.
pretty vacant. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Luke looks as confused as you guys. He says, "I was only here yesterday, and there were at least a few service people here. I mean, nothing's dilapidated, but where is everyone?"
Yeah, Seto's already got his gun and sword out.
Oh boy.
This feels real uneasy to no one else, does it?
I just go, oh.
Like, this doesn't feel right. Alright, I'd rather not need them and have them than, have to get them when I need them. But,
I
fine.
look around.
He puts his sword away and hides, walks around with the gun under the vest. You know what I mean? It's like, fair. I'll roll a sleight of hand for how well, or a stealth for how well I hide it.
I'm gonna keep my eye out for a particularly thiefy looking individual that I may have seen last night.
Oh, nice. But yeah, what Sagerges? Oh, what would I roll for hiding that?
Oh, so yeah, if you want to hide a weapon specifically, it'd be sleight of hand for me.
That's okay. I'm pretty well set up for both.
I'm prepared for a fight, but I don't have my axe out yet.
I'm hitting both sides of the pendulum today.
Nice.
Yeah. So you feel relatively well concealed, and that your intentions wouldn't be known by anyone you encountered.
Nice, sexy.
How does the environment sound?
So right now, actually, give me a perception check.
Everyone or just him?
Just Steve.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
so you this is the thing, right? Sometimes when things are a bit eerie, like when you've been around the bones, you've not really heard animals. You can hear animals. You can hear like the kind of water system way back behind you. You can kind of hear that atmospheric kind of pressure. There's nothing that feels supernaturally eerie about this place in terms of like the sounds. But you don't hear people.
Okay. So I don't know. I'm druidy. I just have a staff, so I'm just on a walk around town with my staff. I'm not threatening. I'm fuzzy.
Yeah, I'll follow Steve to keep an eye out and see if we can find anybody.
Yeah, we'll all stick together on that one.
So give me 1 second.
While they're kind of going through, he's got it like, he's however super situated he is, holding the gun like against his vest and all that jazz. He looks up at Jorg, like, so are you from a place like this or like bigger, or because we really don't know too much about your big one.
More so of a traveler, man. I don't really remember where I'm from because it's been so long.
Oh,
I'm more of a wanderer, I guess you could say.
some might call that a vagabond.
Oh,
I see the wordplay.
Yeah, you see what I dun, dun, dun. Sorry.
I'm something of a wanderer myself.
Yeah.
No, I've been watching. Sorry to derail slightly, but I found what I needed. I've been watching the One Piece live action, and every time they've said the word One Piece, I've looked into the metaphorical camera and like made the face, and just be like, meh, they did the thing.
They said the thing. The thing. They said the thing. But yeah.
Okay. So as you guys, do you kind of go through this village? Like, do you start searching the houses, or?
Not the ins. Do they have windows?
Yes, they do.
Because I have a certain expertise at peering through windows.
Oh.
Not in like
if the door is open, I'll peer my head in.
Okay. So could the group give me a perception check as you go around, and then Seto, could you give me a stealth check because you're going through the windows and trying not to be seen, and Steve, you're going through the doorways. So
Motherfucker.
You need what?
So
Chimmy!
I
Chonga
need
fucks.
perception.
Oh, she needs perception. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is that 18?
Oh, no,
the
wait, no.
one-
Stealth. Sorry.
Yeah, I need both. It's fine.
Bitch ass.
That's cool. And then Jorg,
That's right.
fantastic. Okay. So as you start going through these houses, you see Seto is definitely like kind of leading ahead a little bit, peering through the windows, checking for any signs of life first, before letting you guys kind of peek through the doorways a bit more. So you can get a better idea of what's actually happening. So Seto, you don't notice any people as you get up to kind of the middly part here and check your head through the barn and things. You don't notice any people yet. However, the group, as you're kind of combing a bit more thoroughly, and no one, you don't think you've been seen by anyone either, Seto. The group, as you've kind of been peering more like intrusively, going through the doorways and actually like more interacting with these like buildings more, once you've seen that Seto seems to think it's okay, you notice that there is still food in the cupboards. There are burnt coals that have gone cold, but they're not hot, they're not really old that they look like they've got wet or anything. Everything here kind of seems like time froze a little bit and the people vanished. But it doesn't seem like it's been long since that might have happened. It seems like Luke's confusion of it him seeing it with people the other day seems accurate.
I want to go outside and see if I could like check for like tracks to see where people may have gone if they left.
Yeah, and I want to get. That's literally what I would be on next, so I
Yeah.
can give him advantage if that's okay.
Cool. Yep. So Steve, if you could give me a survival with advantage.
Survival with advantage.
Yes.
Survival, advantage. Hello. I do it.
You do it. Okay. Steve, you notice two major sets of tracks. So one set of tracks is leading into this kind of area over here. And one set of tracks is leading out the village. The set of tracks that lead into here look like their feet have definitely been dragged. And the set of tracks that go this way look like they're not wearing shoes and they're very small clawed feet.
All right, so I'm gonna look in this section.
But they are feet, they're not paws.
And check this shit out thoroughly. Also,
Okay.
look at whatever the hell that is.
Seto motions for Jorg to like back him up while he keeps a watch out with Walden.
Sounds good.
Could you guys place where you are just so I can get a visual on the
We don't
approaching
have our
order and
man.
things? Oh, is it
don't
not
have
letting
my
you?
man.
Oh,
My man.
it should be
One
at the
man.
bottom of the map.
Wait, what?
One man.
Oh,
who's
I'm
taken-
sorry.
Yeah, at the
It
bottom.
did not resize properly for me.
Yeah, I think we'd be over here, and
Well,
if you're gonna, yeah,
I guess I'm like here because I'm gonna look at the place before I go in it, but I'll be
Yeah.
in it.
and Jorg over here.
Give me a second.
No problem.
Sorry. I was wondering where my dudes was.
You said right here.
Yeah, that just enough to back him up. Like however close you want to be is up to you.
Okay. As Steve kind of goes to approach, Steve, for starters, you hear groaning. As you get closer, you do hear a groaning. And as you look into the building, you see two kind of fairly commonly dressed, nothing particularly exciting about how they're dressed, but diseased. Like bloody and diseased would be the words that came into your head. These people look half dead, and they're coughing. They're not coughing loud. They're not like hacking up their lungs. They're literally like struggling to breathe, asthma style coughing. So they're like kind of thing. And as you approach the kind of the bundle of sticks, it looks like there is an actual body on that bundle. Well, more
Can I,
under
like,
it.
Can I tell by looking at these folks what the fuck's wrong with them?
You could do a medicine check.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I fucking do that.
Cool. From what you can tell, this actually seems like it's not a true plague. This seems like it could be magical. This seems like it could be a curse. And the body under the kind of bushel of twigs here looks like they were going to try and burn this person, thinking it was a plague, but they decided to not light the pyre because maybe something within them clicked, but they are not responding to you. You're looking over them, you're trying to work out what's going on, but you sense magical energy to this, and this does not seem like their pustules aren't deep. It all seems like it's not happening for days and days. This is very new to them. Luke at this point seems incredibly shocked. He claimed he was here a few days ago, and he runs towards the body that you discover and desperately tries, even though they're covered in sores, to lay on hands and revive, and tries their best to kind of like get anything he can from them, but they do seem to have passed on. And you do see him like almost crying, trying to like soothe this person that's already passed on, that he's clearly already met before alive. Do you tell him that the people inside are alive? Because they're not responsive and he can't hear them from outside.
I do, and I tell them that they're likely cursed.
Okay. As soon as you say that, Luke responds, "Cursed? In these areas? Well, I mean, there are a few diseases that..."
Well, I think, did we lose you?
Do it, but let me take a look. And he goes to take a look. Okay. Unfortunately, Luke can't seem to deduce how to deal with what's happening. Maybe he's overcome with grief of somebody that he's met recently and has now discovered is no longer with him. But it's taking him a little minute to get his thoughts together enough to treat these people. But when he kind of composes himself a bit, he asks you, Steve, if you know anything about like first aid and revival.
I do know about healing. I can't revive people, but I can heal, and I know a handful of medicine. Any assistance that you need, I got you.
That would be wonderful. I know a few things of Arcana that may be able to help us. The divine is good when they're good, but this does not seem good. Do you have any restorative spells?
I do, and I will heal. I'll heal if I gotta heal.
I would be very appreciative if you did.
Okay, I healing word some folks.
And as you kind of, could you roll that just so I know how much?
Do I have to do it once or twice?
Do it once and then I'll tell you. So
Yeah.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Bleep.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that's fine. That'd be a villager. Yeah. So as you do that, you heal their kind of their energy, and as you're doing it, you see Luke cast this kind of.
Did you keep breaking up?
Somatic and wordy spell. Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
At least to me, you keep dropping out.
Yeah, it'll cut out for a little bit and then it'll like quickly catch up. I'm not entirely certain what's going on.
That's okay. We knew there was going to be problems because they're using the mic on the camera, not the regular mic.
Yeah, it might be the webcam because it's not very close to me. Hold on, let me move it.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know in case I'm missing critical information.
This is fucking life and death.
It could be right now.
It could be. It absolutely. Yeah, trust me, it really could be. Between the two of you, Luke seems to do something that feels. Actually, give me an Arcana check, Steve.
An Arcana check, Steve.
Yes.
All right, acceptable.
Cool. It looks like Luke is actually removing the curse. Like,
Yay!
Luke seems to have a magic strong enough to do that. And as you're able to kind of pick them up, the pair of you are able to get these two in the hut stabilized. Luke seems to be more concentrating on tending to their bodies and their wounds right now. But if you wanted to tell the others, you might be able to ask them questions.
Say it again.
If you wanted to tell the others there are people in there and stuff, then you could probably ask them questions.
No, I assume they knew. Hey, there's people, and we saved them. They were cursed and boily, like that guy. What? Yeah, are you? What happened?
I think. What?
What?
Oh, I was muted.
You were, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Find out what the fuck happened here.
Yeah. What happened to here to you folk?
Slides right into here to hide into these bushes.
Oh, who are you? Oh, Luke.
I'm
Hi.
Steve. That's Luke.
Hi.
And we made you better, hopefully.
Hello, Steve. Where's Isabel?
What are these like kids?
So the younger, I suppose, lady at your feet is accompanied by an older lady. There was so much going on with like sores and blisters that you couldn't really tell things like societally understood genders just by looking at these people, but you kind of understand more now that at least these two are probably women. She looks up at you and she says, "My name's Ruth. Isabel's my daughter. I'm sorry.
Take your time. It looks like y'all were maybe cursed. I think we took care of it for the time being, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. First and foremost, are you okay?
Yeah, I suppose now. We were waiting for Luke, actually. Luke, we found Crick and Crack, but then these people showed up, but now I'm not sure if they were people. Anyway, where's Isabel?
Who is Isabel?
My daughter.
I assume it's not I don't know. Luke, do you know who? I don't know. I just got here.
Luke, while Ruth isn't looking, Luke kind of like really quickly and really little like shakes his head. Could you give me an insight check?
I don't think I need to do it because I assume that she's outside, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, Steve's well aware of where Isabel is.
Okay.
Oh shit.
She's not here right now.
Oh, right. Well, I suppose me and Dorothy should try and find her then.
Well, why don't you just sit here and relax for a bit? We'll look for her. You've been through a lot. Just rest for a second.
They must have taken Crick and Crack, and she's looking at Luke. And Luke kind of looks up at you, Steve, and gestures for Ruth and Dorothy to sit and says, just stay here, ladies, just stay here. We'll look. And he goes out towards the other guys to kind of talk to you guys a little bit.
I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna shut this door.
That's a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, we don't want them over here in this conversation.
Well, not even that. If they look out the door, they're gonna see her boiled kids. I'll stand right here as well in case they open it.
Now, lads, I'll be honest with you. If there's a curse involved and they're to this extent and this quick, and they saying there was people that they're not sure were people, there's a possibility that these are the things that Grunwald fears from the Blighted Lands. These are hags.
Okay.
These are what?
I think these could be hags.
Like
Hags?
like witches?
The reason the blight spreads is hags. It's not the goblins. The goblins just carry it sometimes, but it's the hags that are the problem.
Okay. Do I know what a hag is?
As a druid, I would assume, but
I would have thought so, because you speak Sylvain and things. You know what? Give me a wisdom check, Steve, just to see if Steve remembers.
Straight ass wisdom.
Yeah, just to see if Steve remembers. Or
Bam! I wisdom the shit out of it.
Okay. Yeah, then Steve would remember. You being from Grimwell, knowing things about the Blighted Lands, you do know what hags are. They're kind of like a swamp witch. They come in a few different flavors, but the ones that tend to be around Grinwell are green hags. The village does its best to stave off any kind of malevolent fey energy. But the connection between the Fae and the forest has always been very strong. So yeah, you would know that hags are capable of doing this.
Hags. Mm.
Right then. How dangerous are they generally? Do we know?
When they're not a good thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know why they'd even want Crick or Crack, to be fair, but if they're capable of planning and there's more than one of them, then yeah, they'd be very dangerous.
Okay.
And if they're drawn to power, they might be drawn to the Lich, Bradley Cooper, or Landon.
Bradley Cooper.
Brand, that's a whole other campaign.
Yo.
Brad Landon, right?
Brad Langford or
Langfordshire.
Oh my God. Brad Langford.
But
Yeah.
they may be. I'm pretty much gonna always assume that fuck's got his tendrils in something now. Just because that seems to be the way fate's driving us. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I'm right, I'm ready. You dig?
It's a very smart approach.
Luke looks up at you all and says, I'm not sure who this Brad Langford is, but I honestly, if there is any involvement between him and Hags, you guys have got a mighty foe. Whatever I can do to help, you have my blessings, and if we've got any way to find where they may have taken Crick or Crack, then are there any kind of tracks or a direction we could go?
Well, it looks like they were
I mean,
dragged off up in this general area over. Yeah.
if we're trying to track something, why not you turn back into that giant fuck off wolf?
Not the worst idea.
Do that anymore.
What?
I changed my spell loadout.
It's not a. You don't never need a spell for that. That's a class ability.
It's a
Is
wild
it?
shape.
Yeah, it's a wild shape.
Why did it say that?
I have no idea. But yeah, no, that's a class ability, not a spell.
Oh, you're right. My B. I see it.
That's okay.
I could do that. Sorry. I forgot the scroll. I could do it a companion too. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot looking at that section.
You good?
Before we do anything, we gotta deal with these two ladies and their kid.
I mean, if you need someone to tell them the truth, I'm not a coward. You know, they're
Well-
gonna find out one way or the other.
If you're volunteering, I'm going to move this pyre and light it.
That's fair. I'll let them know.
Okay. Yeah, so Luke goes to kind of move the pyre out of the village.
Yeah, so just walks right up to the door.
Oh, are you one of Stephen Luke's friends?
As a matter of fact, I am.
Oh, Dorothy, look, there's more people.
They brought me in here to say the hard thing. And that is, well, you were fortunate enough to survive this horrible event.
Yes.
Your daughter was unable. The dark energies took her. But she's with whoever you believe in now.
No, not my Isabel.
Many a people's Isabels happen to go. I am dreadfully sorry.
But they
that
weren't
yours
my
is among
Isabel.
them. And I'm very sorry for that. But it's better to let you know than to think we're going to go find someone we know isn't going to be found.
I see. And she starts to kind of go slightly catatonic. Um, Dorothy, however, who has not said a word, um, seems to maybe have already understood from the atmosphere and kind of comforts her own daughter, Ruth. And, she kind of cradles her a little bit in her lap and strokes her hair. And she doesn't really say anything still, but she just knows none of what she can say would change what's happened.
Understood.
Luke comes back.
Like nods and backs away, like giving them their space.
Yeah. Luke comes back and having kind of said some last rites and lit the pyre in a stony area where it's kind of safe. Kind of nods to you guys and says, I'd only met them a few times and passing through, but they'd always been very always given a lot of hospitality to me, Crick and Crack. Never judgment. And I hate to see the Wheelass go. It's not right.
Twins.
Now, if there's anything...
There's a quick question. I'm a little slow on things. You said they're twin goblins, eh?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Would you allow me to use prestidigitation to create like a piece of paper with a picture on it?
I would say you'd need to have a piece of paper.
Oh,
because otherwise that would be because I would say that minor illusion would allow you to make the whole thing. Prestidigitation would only be the ink.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. That's what I was like, fuck. All right, then I do that. I get out a piece of paper and I basically make a picture of Bolt appear.
Okay, of Bolt.
Yeah, the goblin we saw make a bunch of himself.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Twins.
Oh right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, with you. So Luke looks over the images of the bolts that you've seen, and he goes, "No, they've got terribly evil eyes on them. Crick and Crack forgo. Nicest, kindest eyes you ever did see on Goblin."
Okay. Well, that's Bolt. If you ever see him, you kill him on
sight.
Yes. He is incredibly dangerous.
Oh, I believe you guys. You seem like stand-up adventurers. I have no doubt if you're warning me on him, you're right. Now, if nobody minds terribly, I would like to try and see if it's possible to find Crick and Crack alive. Hags aren't ones for keeping people alive unless there's something very useful, and I don't know anything Crick and Crack could even do, so I'm very worried.
Well, this is where the reason I bring up the picture is because he split himself into a number of different bodies, or there's a number of different ones, and I was essentially just making sure that your two Crick and Crack weren't two of the Bolt clones working something, more or less. And that said, that doesn't mean that they can't get more bodies. And twins may be right up their alley. So, expediency might be the key to finding out a lot more information.
I see. You think that there's a possibility that they incarnate a piece of themselves in different...
I've heard fairy tales of hags. I've read all sorts of legends from the library. And none of it sounds like they couldn't exchange one soul for another if it's part of a bargain. In fact, it may be one of their fucking specialities for all I know. But,
then yes, we should definitely make haste. Yes. I would hate to see Crick or Crack come to any harm, and if they're involved with this Langford fellow you've mentioned, then that would certainly be harm.
Fair, I agree. It probably, before we go, again, sorry for your loss.
Well, not even that. Here's the kicker. I don't feel comfortable leaving these two completely undefended people in a town that was just attacked and may come back again. So we got to make sure these people are safe before I'm going anywhere.
But there's no way to do that. How do you, unless they come with us, which I don't recommend.
Or one of us stay.
What? That's ridiculous.
Well, if you're sincerely worried, I could stay here. I'd be able to heal or fend anything that could come their way.
Can you take on 2 hags?
No, but at
Then
least
that
I'll be
doesn't
able.
help.
Well, could
Do
you?
we at least
escape
know a
from
way
2
to,
hags?
like, you were able to dispel the curse. Is there any way that we can maybe pop them in a house and put some wards around it at least? That way the hags can't get in?
I actually, you see the kind of especially you, whatchamacallit, you would see an almost quick shimmer of like the hair that looks like leaves, like fallen leaves in the autumn, as kind of Seto perks up. Is like, actually, I think I have something for this. And he kind of is, I can only do it to one person, and God, I'm not 100% sure how long it'll last. But why am I doing that? But I've got this here. Oh, this isn't me casting. It's it didn't bring up the explanation. Okay, that's.
Sanctuary can ward a creature for up to a minute.
Oh, okay. Up to a minute. Never mind.
It basically like it forces enemies that would attack this creature to make a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, they have to choose a different attack. Different target to attack, rather.
It doesn't have a time range on it.
No, it does. Duration, 1 minute.
I did not see it, but I will believe. This is in my way. I'll move that and then.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep,
it is
duration
1 minute.
1 minute right there.
Yeah.
Flunkied in butt chuggers. Then I can't do anything. Never mind.
Well, it might not help too much then, but it's always possible then that we could travel with them slightly if they agree. And then when we get close to an area where you guys feel is worth investigating, I'll hold back with them and I can always protect them from there.
I mean, that's risky as hell.
That's also not ideal.
There's, you kind of Seto looks over.
Unfortunately, I don't know what to suggest.
Yeah, there's no ideal here. Either we leave them here and we go and deal with the threat that caused them to be in the state they were in, risking the same happening, them coming back in a different path, because we're tracking their path, remember? And, or they come with us and we bring them to the thing that did that inadvertently or intentionally. Or we leave someone here to watch them, which is a fair one. Like, if Luke's willing to watch, that's probably the closest to ideal, although I'm not going to say I wouldn't like the manpower to fight a couple of green hags, as it were. But
Okay, so does Luke have a potential way to contact us long distance?
Hmm.
Like message or sending, something like that. And if he does, because we're going to be looking for these hags, right? Are we going to be close enough?
We'll ask/check.
Okay. You know what? I'll say that you go and ask Ruth and Dorothy, because you're kind of talking about them like they don't have autonomy. So I'll say that you go and ask them.
Mhm.
They say that normally they don't have these kind of issues. Duke is a well-known trade route. Normally there are actually a few people that are around here. It's never super busy, but each house does have an owner. However, the majority of people right now have gone off to get supplies, and the hags came during that time. They expect the rest of their group should have been back either yesterday or today. So they're either going to come back soon, or the hags have also intercepted them. But they do actually have a basement here in this place that they can go and be safe in for a time period. At least, however, what they do say to you is there's a chance that because they were cursed, that the hags don't think they're alive.
True.
And that is true. Do you know where these people went that had left for supplies?
Yes, they'd have gone to Hanka. We needed things like medicine, things that you can't easily make, so they'd have just gone to Hanka. It should have been a 2-day trip. They should have been back yesterday, really, but there's always a chance they got trouble on the road.
All right, then. Well, if it seems like ultimately they're going to be okay here, then I guess there's not much else that we can do.
I guess if they feel safe, I'm gonna put the decision in their hands
That's
because
fair.
it's their lot.
Honestly, down to me and my mother, we'd like to see if the others come back before we make any traveling plans. I think we'll be fine. Honestly, I do. I have a suspicion that this was more about Luke's colleagues than it was us.
Alright. Blending
Are they
credit.
Are they both fully healed right now?
Yes.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, they're only villagers. They've got one's got 8, one's got 9 HP. Very decent.
Alright, then I say we move out then.
Okay. If there's anything else we can do before we leave, let us know, and I will do what I can.
I don't want to trouble you too much. Honestly, I think we'll be okay. But we will go down to the basement now, and at least it's not heavy, but it kind of hides it from the first glance. And they go into the basement.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Alright.
Okay. So yeah, how are you guys going to track the prints that go to the north?
Okay, so here's another question. Do those tracks go towards Hanker? Or
They
go...
would be going. They would be going towards Hanka. They wouldn't be going off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, move from a direwolf, motherfucker.
Direwolf. Rawr, direwolf.
That was a horrible direwolf noise. There you go.
Nice. Okay. If you could give me because I think wolves have advantage with smell.
Wolves have what?
Yes,
I think-
keen hearing
yeah.
and smelling. You have advantage on wisdom perception that relies on hearing or smelling. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
So now I'm curious. Am I more perceptive than a direwolf?
You just don't have advantage.
But I think I may be more perceptive than a direwolf at this
You
point.
100% are now that I'm looking at it. Yeah. Well, they also don't have skills or proficiency, but I think you get your proficiency when you transfer in. So
is it even worth it?
yes, because you only have their physical stats. You have your wisdom still. You just have advantage now when you use them. That's like the great benefit. You get all the physical stuff,
So
and all the mental stuff.
one D&D is threatening to change it, but in 5e, it's the physical stats only that change. So the charisma, the wisdom, and intelligence all are yours. But one D&D is threatening to make it a full transformation.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely fucking is.
That's pretty loud.
Yeah. We used to have fun. Blues Clues. Blues
There we go.
Clues. I definitely
We gotta
fucking...
find the first paw print.
Right? I prestidigitate a yellow fucking notebook and a blue pen. I'm here for it, baby.
Okay, so yeah,
Do you
if
see the
you
dragging body mark? Show me the dragging body mark.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Mwah.
God's sake.
Can't improve upon perfection. That was solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, about those dragon body marks though.
So if you could give me like a perception roll.
Is
Yeah,
this
remember, you get
just a straight
advantage.
perception roll, or am I doing anything to this?
Advantage.
It's advantage, yeah.
Advantage perception. Super perception advantage. They're both.
Sweet.
Glad it picked that one because the other one was a critical failure.
Cool. And I would like. You know what? I'm gonna say everyone who is still a person. I would like one of you to make a survival roll, just to like keep an eye on. I'm envisioning that Steve is so heavily focused on these tracks that
I'll
like
do
they're
the
not really
survival roll.
scouting around. Okay, cool.
'Cause I
So
got a
that's
+4.
Nice. Solid.
sweet.
Wow. My first shit roll of the night.
Hey, it happens to all of us, baby.
That it
I've
does.
only been having shit rolls.
Right? I hit both sides of the pendulum.
And then the other two roles, I would like a nature and an arcana from one of Walden and Zeto each.
I'll do the Arcana because I'm the sorcerer.
What's your bonus?
Oh, I don't have one.
I have +4.
To Arcana?
Yeah.
Fuck, go nuts. Do it up. Sorry, I made an assumption.
I have proficiency in Arcana. So.
Oh,
I
nice.
love.
I should.
Nice, fantastic.
alright.
Okay.
And nature, you
Nature.
said. All right.
Yes.
You're doing the Arcana checks going forward.
Boom! I'll take it.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. So, as Steve, as a woofer, has their nose fairly firmly planted to the prince, he's doing a great job. There are times when you guys can't see any tracks, but Steve seems to really think there are still going on tracks, and he seems right on target. However, it is taking you a little bit longer. Steve is getting a little bit ahead. You guys as a party are struggling a bit with like the desert terrain. You're not used to a terrain that's got this much sand. You've experienced, the forest and the coast, but not really like this dry sand it's getting a bit hard for you guys to travel across. But you keep Steve in sight. Walden, something that you've been thinking about on the journey to try and like locate where Crick and Crack and potentially Hags may be, is anything that you might know about Hags. So you're kind of looking out for like signs along the way of like what could be pointing towards these things. And as you travel further in, you start to think that there doesn't seem to be a sign that this is Green Hags. This is far away from any kind of swamplands. This doesn't, to you, feel like the right environment for a Green Hag. But you do think that, considering the curse and how quick it was, and like Seto said about the soul exchange powers, like Hags are very strong. It's within their capacity. And Seto, as you're going through this environment, you're kind of talking with Walden about what they've thought about these Hags, and you agree. You're not 100% sure this would be truly Green Hags either. And you start to say to Luke, like, are you sure these would be Green Hags? And he's not sure either anymore. but he's never encountered hags outside of the forest and this close to Hanka before. But one thing that you kind of take forward is that you need to be aware of illusions. The more you travel across the land, the more you're aware that these shifting sands would be very easy to make mirages in, Seto. The way the heat is coming off the sand, stuff like that. And hags are fantastic at illusions. So yeah, that's kind of what the party's aware of as you're on track to try and find Crick and Crack.
Okay.
So let me just pull me up a second. So as you journey past Duke, following this track, you get a little bit closer to the water and a little bit off the trail, but you're still heading in the right direction for Hanka. And it's at this point that it starts to be drawing night. You've been traveling for a few hours today. You've been absolutely traveling without really resting properly. A lot of you are very tired. And it gets to probably about 9 p.m. And way off in the distance, you think you start to see buildings. It's late enough you'd think there'd be lights, but there are no lights on. And it is there that we will pause today's game.
My God.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Fuck! We really don't know what we're walking into.
Yeah, it's about to be crazy.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I'm excited. That was awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Wonky.
As
I'm into
always, thank you, Sajeje, for a wonderful experience. And to everybody here, thanks for watching. And remember that life happens in every direction. So let's roll with those 1s and 20s.
Yeah. Try not to start off with their one like I did.
And I did.
If we're too severe, if it